Have you ever felt jealous of someone? Like you see them living their best life and you feel like, man, what did they do to deserve that? I deserve it more. Or guilt, where you know you've done something wrong, but you're just not quite ready to own up to it. But that doesn't mean you don't feel bad about it. Or shame, because you feel like you should be living your life one way, and that's just not your life. Or regret, because you could have made so many other choices, but you keep making the wrong ones. See, the thing about those emotions, those feelings, is those are the ones that are considered low vibrational. And they just make you feel so icky to feel them. Fear is another one, where you don't really do anything because you're too scared to get started. You're too scared to do what you're doing. So you're stuck in fear. All of those emotions feel icky and ugly and just plain not fun. And so we listen to all these gurus and spiritual people tell us those are low vibrational. And I want to counter that. You see, we're so committed to not being low vibrational that we miss where it all matters. We miss that those feelings are not low vibrational at all. That's like having a hammer and trying to put something into the wall, but you hit it a little bit too hard. The hammer did what it was supposed to do. It was just a little bit too much force behind it. See, I look at those emotions like they're tools, much like the hammer. And it doesn't matter that you feel those feelings, because those feelings are there to tell you something. Those feelings are there for you. You're supposed to do something with them. And depending on what you do with those emotions are what makes them low vibrational or high vibrational. See, if you have fear inside of you, that fear is not in you to be low vibrational. That fear is in you to protect you. That fear is very real, and there is something there that you need to look at. There's something there that you need to listen to. And yes, it may be something in your brain or in your subconscious that you need to correct, but that doesn't mean that that fear is there for no reason. There's a reason that fear exists. And it's up to you to figure out what you want to do with that fear. You can feed into it. You have this fear of being this, you have this desire to be an amazing singer, but you are scared to go on stage. You have the opportunity to decide what you're going to do with it. You have the power to decide, yes, I know I want to be this singer, but I'm scared to allow all these people to see me. Are you going to sing in the studio? Are you going to sing in the kitchen at home? Are you going to put yourself out there and jump on stage and just say, I defy this fear? It's ultimately up to you. If you feel this jealousy and this envy because you see people on social media doing things and living a life that you've only ever dreamed of, you get to decide how you feel about that jealousy. You get to decide what you do about that jealousy. You see, I've been jealous a time or two in my life. I've always seen me jet setting across the world, living my best life. And so I would look at these travel influencers and I would feel so jealous because why are they living my life? And do you know what I decided? My first thought was, I was seeing these people say, oh, these girls are selling you on a dream. Really, they have a sugar daddy. Or really, they have a rich daddy. They have somebody that's paying for this for them. And do you want to do that? Do you want to be dependent on someone else to fund this lifestyle of yours? And then I had to stop and think. I don't know these people's story. They could be very hard-working young women. They could be out here grinding and traveling and hustling in order to travel. Their trips could be absolutely amazing and they could fund it all by themselves. And do I want to put a certain rhetoric on them? And if I'm putting that rhetoric on them, what rhetoric am I leaving open for myself? Will I only be able to travel if I give me a sugar daddy? I hope not, because I don't want one. And also, that comes from a place of envy for me to even entertain that thought. And so I had to stop and think for myself, what is bringing about these feelings that I just feel so icky every time I look at these influencers posts? What is this? And I realized I have a choice. I can be jealous and envious, or I can use that jealousy and that envy to become inspiration and motivation to do the very thing that I've wanted to do this entire time. You see how the same emotion, jealousy, can put me down in the dumps, judging somebody else and their lifestyle, or it can inspire me to do the work that it takes to do the same thing myself. And that is what I mean by there is no such thing as a high vibrational or low vibrational feeling. There's only a high vibrational or low vibrational action. And all of these emotions and feelings that we have are simply tools. And we get to decide what we want to build with these tools. We can build a life that we feel bad about. We can build a life that has us down and feeling ashamed of ourselves and ashamed of the life that we live. Or we can choose to look at these emotions and these feelings and make something wonderful out of it. You hear people say, oh, well, I don't want to be sad. Sad is so low vibrational. Why are you sad? Is there anything that you can do about this sadness? Is there anything that you can do about this grief? That grief is there for a reason. And it's not to hold you back. If anything, it's going to propel you forward. And a lot of times we do have to get pulled back to shoot forward, much like an arrow. So don't be afraid to be pulled back a little bit. Don't be afraid to feel like you're going backward sometimes, because a lot of times that backward motion is just extra inertia for you to move forward. You see, I dealt with shame for a long time. I was ashamed of my life. I was ashamed of what I had done with it. I was ashamed of me. And because I felt that shame, I would put myself in terrible positions because I couldn't own who I was. And my goal is to help everybody get into this mind state, in this place where they don't feel the same shame that I felt. I was a young mom, divorced, depressed, and gay. And I was always trying to hide it. Always. I always looked at it like it was a disgrace, that I should be ashamed of myself. You see, I grew up in a Christian home, and everything about my life said that I was a failure. That God was supposed to stop loving me. God was supposed to abandon me. But you know, when I decided to own my shame, like, okay, I feel shame. I feel shame about where my life is right now. Why do I feel that way? And I realized it was because I was looking at me through different people's perspective. And I was not taking the time to look at my own perspective. And when I look back, I look at all of the things I put myself through because I was not ready to be true to who I was. And I said, wow, look how far I've come. I'm so proud of myself now. I'm not that girl who was depressed, unmotivated, down in the dumps, embarrassed. I can walk around with the crown on my head because I am proud of who I am. I am proud of what I've accomplished, and I am proud of what I've overcome. And had I not stopped to look at that shame, I would have never been able to experience the pride and the joy that I have today. So if you feel shameful about your life, I want you to stop. I mean, it's easier said than done to just stop, but I mean, stop where you are and look at why you're feeling shameful. Is it because other people are in your ear telling you where you're supposed to be? Because I can promise you, they don't know your journey. Even if they think they know your journey, they don't know your journey. They don't know what you've overcome. They don't know your trajectory. They don't know where you're going. You have that vision. So appreciate your journey. Appreciate how you came to be and live in your truth and own it proudly. Because only in owning those dark emotions can you really and truly appreciate the good moments that come into your life. You cannot have light without the shadow. That light without darkness does not exist. The bigger the light, the bigger the darkness. So own that darkness because it's part of the light. It is part of you. We often find ourselves in this place where we try to make it about duality, about this or that, when the total package is what matters. It's not about duality. It's about totality and how you integrate that into your life. How do you integrate that darkness? You're feeling spiteful. What are you going to do with it? Because I promise you, you can use that spite to win. You said I can't do it. Bet. I'm going to do it in spite of you. Because you think I can't, I'm going to show you that not only can I do that, I can do it better than you ever imagined. I can do it better than I even imagined. those dark feelings are not low vibrational. They are just tools. And those tools will help you build the life that you want to live. Don't put all of the power in the tool. You get to decide whether you are living a high vibrational or low vibrational life. And you get to decide that not based on the tools, but based on the actions that you do. The tool is just a tool. We'll go back to the hammer analogy. You have this hammer. You can choose to hold it in your hand and not do anything with it. The nail is in your other hand and you're looking at it and you do nothing with it. Guess what? You will not have that picture hanging on your wall because you did nothing with the tool. You can decide, you know what? I hate this project. And slam the hammer into the wall. Now you have a hole in your wall. And guess what? Your picture isn't there, but you got a nice hole. You could take the same hammer, the same nail, and be gentle with it. Gentle but firm. And now you have this beautiful picture that you were able to put onto your wall because you honored the hammer and you honored the action behind it. So don't look at your emotions as if they determine whether you are high vibrational or low vibrational, whether you are positive or not. Your actions determine that. So you have all of the power. You always have. And don't be fooled by low vibrational and high vibrational rhetoric, especially when it comes to your feelings, because we all have these feelings. And they're part of the journey, they're part of the process, and I promise you, when you look back, you're going to be proud that you listened to all of those dark feelings and made something good of it. Thank you for listening to Strangely Sane. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear from you. I hope to hear from you soon, and I hope you will be listening again. I am your host, Tawny Marilyn, and it was wonderful talking with you. Own your feelings. Don't forget. If you are listening this far, I urge you to get a journal. And what I want you to write today is, what negative feelings am I feeling? Are they low vibrational? And what can I do to make them high vibrational? Get to writing. Bye.